A very good morning to you and welcome to another day of Lessons in Love. And today we're on lesson 167. We're going to allow ourselves to become present, choose to be right here, right now, gently closing our eyes down, dropping our focus inwards and downwards, moving from the head down into the body, and in a sense dropping away from those thoughts that preoccupy us so much. Falling still. And let your awareness rest in pure presence. We'll gently offer our crowns as we say, we begin this day in gratitude. We open our hearts and we surrender to love. We ask that love lead the way through the minutes and the hours of this new day. We welcome joy, fun, and abundant prosperity. We recognize that all encounters are wholesome and that all experiences can be met with a peaceful heart that is anchored in the truth that we are one, that we are love, and that we are free. And so we release these words and we let it be. Okay, lesson 167. There is one life, and that I share with love. There are not different kinds of life, for life is like the truth. It does not have degrees. It is the one condition in which all that love created share. Like all God's or love's thoughts, it has no opposite. There is no death, because what God created shares love's life or God's life. There is no death, because an opposite to God or to love does not exist. There is no death, because the Creator and the child are one, or the Creator and you are one. So if love itself never dies, then you never die, because you are love. In this world, there appears to be a state that is life's opposite, and you call it death. Yet we have learned that the idea of death takes many forms. It is the one idea which underlies all feelings that are not supremely happy. It is the alarm to which you give response of any kind that is not perfect joy. All sorrow, loss, anxiety, suffering, and pain, and even a slight sigh of weariness, a slight discomfort, or the merest frown, acknowledge death, and thus deny you live. When they talk about live, they're talking about living fully alive as loving awareness. You think that death is of the body, yet it is only an idea, irrelevant to what is seen as physical. A thought is in the mind. It can be then applied as the mind directs it. Its origin is where it must be changed, if change occurs. Ideas do not leave their source. So we are always one with love. We never leave that source. We are an idea in the mind of love, if that makes sense to you. The emphasis this course has placed on that idea is due to its centrality in our attempts to change your mind about yourself. It is the reason you can heal. It is the cause of healing. It is why you cannot die. Its truth established you as one with love. So you are love, you are loving awareness. When you become aware, you are awareness, loving awareness. And the whole idea is to know that whilst you're in a body. Death is the thought that you are separate from your creator. It is the belief conditions change, emotions alternate because of causes you cannot control, you did not make, and you can never change. It is the fixed belief ideas can leave their source. So this idea that you can be other than love and take on qualities the source does not contain. So the source does not contain any of those emotions that we spoke about earlier. Becoming different from their own origin, which is love itself, apart from it in kind as well as distance, time, and form. So this is how we show up, seeing ourselves as separate. And sometimes I find it helpful to think of us as the sunshine and the experiences that we're having as clouds over the sunshine. We are never those clouds. We are always the sunshine. But we start to identify as the cloud rather than as the sunshine. So the mind can think it sleeps, but that is all. It cannot change what is its waking state, which is love. It cannot make a body nor abide within a body. What is alien to the mind does not exist because it has no source. For mind creates all things that are and cannot give them attributes it lacks, nor change its own eternal mindful state. It cannot make the physical. What seems to die is only the sign of the mind asleep. The opposite of mind can only be another form of mind. As such, it can be reconciled with what created it. Because it is not opposite in truth, its form may change, it may appear to be what it is not, yet mind is mind, awake or sleeping. So the sun is always the sun, whether there are clouds covering it or not. It is not its opposite in anything created, nor in what it seems to make when it believes it sleeps. So it is unchangeable. Who you really are is unchangeable. It is constant. It is steady. It doesn't mutate in any way. God or love creates only mind awake. Love does not sleep, and love's creations cannot share what love does not give them, nor make conditions which love does not share with them. The thought of death is not the opposite to the thoughts of life. Forever unopposed by opposites of any kind, the thoughts of God or love remain forever changeless, with the power to extend forever changelessly, yet within themselves, for they are everywhere. So who you truly are permeates the entire cosmos. You are the cosmos. And it's such a big idea, if you think about grappling for words, but idea when you have identified with this little body, and yet there is that knowing, that awareness. And when we drop in and we drop down, we can suddenly see, and we can suddenly be the one that watches all these crazy thoughts play out and direct us this way and that way and that way and that way, because that's what they do. They move us all around, changing all the time, mutable. And who we really are is this constancy that has the ability to be aware of all the thoughts. What seems to be the opposite of life is merely sleeping, when the mind elects to be what it is not and to assume an alien power which it does not have, a foreign state it cannot enter, nor a false condition not within its source. It merely seems to go asleep a while. So that's why we call it awakening. That we say this is an awakened master or an awakened person. They are no longer in that sleeping dream illusionary state. It dreams of time, an interval in which what seems to happen has never occurred. The seeming changes are substanceless, and all events are nowhere. And this is reminding us that time as a concept as we see it does not exist. When the mind awakens, it merely continues as it always was. So you're already awakened, but you're asleep to the fact that you are awakened. You're already in that awake state, but you're asleep to it, if that makes sense. You're already one with God. You're not going to become one with God. You already are that. So let us today be children of the truth and not deny our holy heritage. And again, I know I've spoken about this before. We don't always believe these things as we begin to practice it. It's very much about like awakening yourself to the idea or the remembrance and beginning to recognize, come back to full cognition of who you are. And it's by entertaining this, by reading this, by putting these lessons into practice that you begin to awaken. But you're already awake. Does that make sense? So you begin to recognize, let's put it that way, who you are and awaken to who you are that is already awake. So our life is not as we imagine it. Who changes life because he shuts his eyes or makes himself what he is not because he sleeps and sees and dreams the opposite of what he is? So if you compare it to even going to sleep at nighttime, you don't become something different because you've gone to bed and closed your eyes down. You still are the you that you think you are. So this is like, what it is, except for that our dream is the illusionary world. So we will not ask for death in any form today, nor will we let imagined opposites to life abide, even an instant where the thought of life eternal has been set by God or by love. So you begin to watch and keep dropping in, keep dropping in, keep dropping in, keep coming home. God's holy home we strive to keep today as love established it and wills it be forever and ever. Love's thoughts are what we think today. And in love's thoughts, which have no opposite, we understand there is one life that we share with love, with all creation, with their thoughts as well, whom love created in a unity of life that cannot separate in death and leave the source of life from where it came. So you're never separate, but you're never going to separate in death as well. There is never going to be this sudden ending of who or what you are. We share one life because we have one source, a source from which perfection comes to us, remaining always in the holy minds which love created perfect. And as we were, so are we now, and so will we forever be. A sleeping mind must waken as it sees its own perfection, mirroring the love of life so perfectly it fades into what is reflected there. And now it is no more a mere reflection. It becomes the thing reflected and the light which makes reflection possible. No vision now is needed, for the wakened mind is one that knows its source, itself, its holiness. You could add in there its beauty, its truth, its natural state. And so as we drop into meditation today and spend a little bit of time with this is where we're dropping down into past the thoughts, past the the images and all the things that mind creates that are illusionary. So we're moving past all of those, moving all those clouds away and going directly to the sunshine that is our nature. So I invite you to once more soften your gaze, to fall still. Soften your shoulders, your jaw. Let your eyes rest in their sockets. Those thoughts will continue to do their thing. And there's nothing you need do but let them do their thing, whilst you rest in loving awareness. Be gently opening your eyes and enjoy your practicing today. And I will see you tomorrow. Have a blessed day.